introduction, Oba Femi has the NXT Championship back. Oba. When I tell you I lost my mind. Let's do this properly. So, I'm Keish. Welcome to Wrestling with Keish, which is the name of my channel. And I am here to talk about my recap for NXT Deadline, which is spectacular. So, we kick off the show. We're doing Oba Femi versus Ricky Saints for a rematch. As you can tell from the intro, your girl is happy. They had a pretty good match. I'm not going to lie, going into it, I assumed that Ricky Saints was going to retain the title, especially knowing the history between Cody Rhodes and Ricky Saints. And, I noticed some videos people were saying, particularly Cody, when they announced that whoever won between Oba and Ricky would face Cody on SmackDown. I know that was a tongue twister. I worded that terribly. But, some people pointed out how, Cody just kind of made eye contact with his friend, Ricky. And I was like, no, because Oba losing the first time, talk about a broken heart. I was sick to my stomach. So I was, really like, oh, I gotta watch him lose again. I had a whole theory that Oba Femi was gonna lose to Ricky, and then he was gonna, maybe come out at the Rumble, or maybe just come out on SmackDown, honestly. But hey, I like being wrong now, because Oba Femi got his belt back, and he is now the men's NXT champion again. There's order in the world again. The ruler is ruling again. We're back. We're really back. I couldn't believe it. Oba Femi is one of my favorite wrestlers, so I was genuinely just full of joy when he finally got the belt back, because that's my guy. Moving forward, the women's Iron Survivor match. Oh my gosh, that match was amazing. Talk about being stressed out. Some key things for me. So Ruca coming out and, them doing the whole injury, angle. And Kelani Jordan was a menace in that match. She was very, peak level heel vibes. And I loved every bit of it. Because I'm always with Kelani. Kelani is so kind of soft-spoken. And she's just when I see her, I'm like, oh, Kelani. But, seeing her do all that stuff, I was like, show me your heel tendencies. I love that. But that match had a lot of great spots for sure. Definitely shocked at the winner being Kendall. I honestly thought maybe Ruca would win, or Kelani, even Jordynne Grace. I thought they would win. But that match had me so stressed out. I feel like there were so many times I was like, oh, this person's going to win. No, they're going to win. No, they're going to win. Kendall took advantage, got the ball rolling, got it done. Now she will face Jacy Jayne at New Year's Eve, which I think is going to be interesting. I also like the fact that they are pushing Kendall, because it's we're kind of starting to build up new stars, more than maybe prior. Next up, we had Ethan Page versus Mr. Iguana. This match was fun. I actually was never really an Ethan Page girl for a while. He grew on me the last couple months, but I like Mr. Iguana too. I feel like, it's always a fun time with Mr. Iguana being in the picture. And, Jessica comes out, Ethan Page spits on that puppet, which is kind of wild. But nonetheless, it was entertaining. It was a fun match. Ethan Page retained, as he should. I love Ethan Page. I could go for a minute seeing Ethan Page have that belt. I just like his gimmick with it. It's really entertaining. Next up, Tatum Paxley versus Jacy Jayne. This, honestly, it's in my top 2 for my favorites of my favorite things of the night. Because it was just good. I think the storytelling in it was really good for me. Because, you have a lot of times in the match, Jacy Jayne is very oh, Tatum, remember, I'm your bestie. And, you have Sean Spears with the dolls, and then he rips the head off. That was crazy. But a lot of times where, Tatum is just so in her feelings and her emotions, she can't really process things during the match, and Izzy takes full-blown advantage of that, nonetheless, as she should as a heel. But just the storytelling aspect and their match start to finish, it was great. The wrestling match itself was good, too, but just, the little things storyline-wise, I loved every bit of it. I was shocked that Jacy Jayne won, but it kind of made me wonder if we're going to continue this on for a bit more, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I think Tatum, nonetheless, she deserves payback, and Tatum has just, my girl's been through the ringer for a bit. She just gets friends, loses them, gets friends, loses them. It's a constant roller coaster up and down with her, and I really hope she gets her happy ending at some point, because I really think she deserves it. But, I do wish Tatum got to hold the title for a little bit longer, if I'm being honest, but it's fine. It's fine. I like the storyline aspect we're doing with her and Izzy. It's been so good. It's been one of my favorite storylines on NXT, actually. So, I'm here for the ride. Next, lastly, the men's Iron Survivor Series went. I was stressed all night. Let's be honest. I was stressed out all night. So, the men's Survivor Series match started out how I wanted it. I wanted Leon and Javon to start out the match. They have such good chemistry together. Watching them have their match at was it Bound for Glory TNA? I was really mad when Dark State interfered and messed that match up. That match was cooking. I do hope we get to see them run it back one day for some. It doesn't have to be for a title. They just have such good chemistry. Even as a tag team, it's just sparks. I don't know how else to explain it. But we started out with Javon and Leon, which I was so happy about. Dion Lennox really, he was not playing around. And he was kind of the one person in the match, I don't want to say the oddball, but I didn't expect him to be in it, if I'm being honest. But I feel like he really came in and he really dominated. He did his big one, if I want to even say that. He really was in there dominating, and I enjoyed it. I was like, oh, I like this, because, when they're Dark State, you only get to see them in a certain capacity. So seeing him just kind of throw people around, talk crazy. He was in the box beating down Joe Hendry, talking crazy to the crowd. I liked it. I was just like, okay, cool. I get to see you in a different, you alone, because, I really get to see them only speak as a group or two people. So it was nice seeing him kind of step out and just show the star that he could be. But that match was really good. I love that the winner is who won, which is Javon Evans. Javon was my pick to win. Especially Oba getting the belt back. I was just like, please, God. And it happened. And I was so happy. I literally screamed. Because Javon and Oba, again, if we're talking about good chemistry in ring, amazing. And if I'm being honest, not to backtrack, but I wanted Javon Evans, if anybody, or Trick even, to dethrone Oba. So I was happy with that. Bam. So then Oba comes out. Oba. And then the lights go out. And then, we are shifted to someone walking. And I am confused. Cut back in the ring. Javon Evans gets laid out. He's gone. He's asleep. Tony D'Angelo. No idea. He looks good. He looked really good. He looks like a whole new person. Tony D'Angelo got, taken or what have you, a bit ago. But, Tony came out. And I felt bad for him. The crowd was really quiet. But, looking at it now, they probably didn't know who it was. Because I surely didn't until I stared at the face for a long time. But, Tony did the eye contact with Oba. And it's just ooh. And then Javon's laid out. So now Tuesday, it's what's going to happen here? You had a lot of surprises. You had a lot of, just great matches. It was just, literally amazing. But NXT pay-per-views always deliver, in my opinion. They hardly ever miss, even if there are some hiccups. There's pretty much overall everything else is usually pretty decent to me. But yeah, I am happy. I'm a happy camper. Oba has the belt back, which is what I wanted. Now Oba having the belt back, that means he's gonna fight Cody Rhodes at Saturday Night's Main Event. Now, getting into that, I would be so angry, livid, if Oba Femi does not win against Cody Rhodes. I feel like Oba Femi needs that more than Cody. And also, I hope it's clean. I could easily see something where, maybe Drew McIntyre gets involved and Oba capitalizes. And if we're going to start pushing new people, and Oba Femi not even me being biased, but Oba Femi has everything. He has it all. So, if you're really going to push him, you need to let him beat Cody and do it clean, because he can do it clean. It's Oba Femi. So I'm hoping that's what happens. If not, I will be very upset. I will be upset. But yeah, that is kind of my recap for NXT Deadline. Trying to think if I got everything. I think I did. Yeah, but thank you for watching as always. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye. And don't forget, Oba is the NXT champion once again.